Hey everybody, this is Kathleen Pepper with you. And again, we do our weekly training calls. We have changed them over to Monday night just because we thought it would be easier for everybody concerned, especially with fall coming up. We thought it would be a great way to kick it off in September. And actually, it's a good thing we're doing it in the beginning of this week because the leaders on this call, most of the leaders that do these calls will be in Hawaii come Thursday. So that's another reason why we thought Monday would be great. We don't want to miss a week's worth of calls. So thank you guys for everybody that came on tonight. And with me, we have, I know Liza's on the call. Christina's going to join in with me too. We have a bunch of things to talk about tonight. And one of them, we gave a couple little sneak peeks of information so far about this Ruby retreat that we brought up. I think Amy brought it up last week. We don't have all the details yet. So what we're going to talk about tonight, we don't have any, not that we don't have any details, we don't have any details we want to share yet, the specifics, because we want to see what happens. In the very near future, we will get those out for you. So what we want to talk about is your goals anyway. The goal is to get to Ruby. All the specifics, the details, those kinds of things will come along the way. We're going to give those little bit by little bit. But here's the thing. We want to grow our business for ourselves, right? Corporate comes out with this fantastic, mind-blowing compensation plan. If you're not familiar with the compensation plan and why we talk about it oh so much, if you ask around, there's so many direct sales companies out nowadays. I guarantee if you throw a ball, you'll find some other of your girlfriends that are in different MLMs. Ask them to talk about their compensation plan and compare it with ours. We've done a bunch of calls on the specifics of our compensation plan. So if you have any of those questions, you can definitely look at the archives of those, go back to your upline or ask one of us. We can help you with that. But I'm telling you, nothing compares at all. So corporate comes out with this fantastic, mind-blowing compensation plan that we want to build our businesses. There are so many of you guys on tonight because you want to learn how to build your business the right way. We have so many dreams and our why is so huge. And the only way that we can get to our why, whether it's to be that stay-at-home mom to help the kids with however you want to build your life, this company, this business, this job, these subsequent rankings are why you're doing this. This is how you can build the life that you want. So let's get back to that retreat. We talked about a little bit of it. If you haven't seen it, you can look back in the Goal Diggers post about it. And there's just a little bit of snippets coming out. Bottom line is you need to get to Ruby or above in order to earn this. There are specifics and details like how many ambassadors you need to bring on. So how are you going to do that? How are you get from this point to Ruby and beyond in order to get to your core, your why you're doing this business in the first place? That's what we're going to talk about today. We know so many people that jump in this business do it because it looks fun and it looks exciting. And it is super exciting. But even more so, the reason why our company is different from others is ours is life-changing. I would never talk negatively about any other company, but buying a pair of pants or a pair of lipstick is not life-changing. It might make you feel good. They might be adorable. They totally are. Our company, our products change lives. So in order to build your business, first and foremost, you need to realize that this isn't about you. You're doing this job is to help change other people's lives and help them. So all of your fears, Christina's going to talk about that in a little bit, but all of your fears and your worries and what people are going to think, you have to push those aside because it's not about you, it's about the people you're going to help. But so first and foremost, setting yourself up for success. And looking at that Ruby retreat, we said February is the date that we want to say Ruby or above. So how do you get there? Talk with your upline about how to break that apart into month segments. Looking to February is so darn far away and so dang cold. Let's not think about that yet. But let's see, we got August, September, we're in September, October, November, December, January, February, 5 months. 5 months. So however many points or whatever your ranking is now, in order to hit to Ruby, which is 500 points. You need to backtrack that 5 months, cut that into 5-month segments. So what do you need to do in September to build your business? Bottom line, your goals should always, always be 3 ambassadors a month and 3 customers a month. Also, a goal for if you have 1 person on your team or 10 or 20, you need to find business builders, people that are interested in this business and helping others, and help them get 3 people a month, help them get silver and grow every single month. So find your buddy, find people that are like you. They don't have to be on your team. They could be anybody in that Gold Diggers group. We posted a while ago about finding a running buddy and who you would like to chat with. Amy posted that a while ago. And so people put their personality traits and you guys kind of connected with each other. I'll see if I can search through that and bring that back up to the top again to see if you guys want to do that some more. I definitely recommend that. That always helps you achieve your successes so much more. Okay, so you're breaking apart your 5-month huge, gigantic, big, fat, hairy goal into 1-month segments. Finding 3 customers, 3 ambassadors, and helping your team go silver every month. Sounds simple, right? But the month goes by so dang fast, and you get lost and caught up in the everyday life that we all have. Believe me, we were just talking about this before the call. The amount of things we have on our plate is mind-boggling. So what we need to do is look at this business like a legitimate, solid business, because guess what it is? It's a real solid business. And the more serious you treat it, the more serious the income will become. Make sense? So what we're going to talk about today is getting yourself organized and structured so that you have that mindset of hold on, let me mute it again. Doing all of those things that go along with the business and doing those first and getting that stuff done first. Hold on, let me grab my notes out real quick. And okay, here we go. So one of the things that we have that we love, that I always go by, are our stack sheets. Sounds kind of weird, but stack sheets is what I always use, and Christine's going to talk about her DMO sheets a little bit differently. If you go into the Gold Diggers group, you will see on the side file section, click on files, and in there's a couple pieces of information. One is awesome P96 shakes recipes, like 8 pages, which I love. But another one is the stack sheets. That's just a weekly sheet you print out that it gives you bullet by bullet things to do, making sure that you check those things off the list. But that certainly does not mean that this is it. Once you've made those checks on that you're done for the day. Not at all. That's the minimum. That's, all right, get those things done. And you know how like a regular job, you go and do your job and that's it, and you check it off the list. But those people that go above and beyond, they're the ones that get recognized. Those are the ones that get the raises. Those are the ones that get promotions. That's what we're talking about. So that stack sheet is your default, your minimum, and the little things that you need to do. But going above and beyond, reaching out to those few extra people and doing that little more always will come across so much more. But my friend Christine, could you talk about your DMO sheets a little bit? Because they're not in the back office yet, but go ahead and give that if you can unmute yourself. Is she there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, there she is. So, go ahead.
Yeah. So DMOs, DMO stands for daily method of operation. For those of you who don't know, I'm going to put some information in the files tab of Gold Diggers, probably either tonight or sometime between tonight and Wednesday, so that you can go back and kind of just look at everything that I've said. Another Plexus ambassador actually put together a DMO success guide, which I think is fabulous. But okay, the DMO success guide. And so you're just going to go to dmosuccess.com, I think, if you want to order one of these books. I think they're fabulous. But like Kathleen said, it's basically just a starting point, okay? It's great for new ambassadors who are kind of overwhelmed and they just don't know where to begin. It gives you a good sense of what you should be doing daily, and you can literally check it off day by day. There's, 365 of these, days in here. You can check off what you're doing. But again, going above and beyond, once you get used to this, it just becomes like second nature, and you know to do these things every day. And then that's when I feel like you're going to go above and beyond, because it just becomes kind of part of your routine. And then before you know it, you're going to be doing way more than that. So some things that should be part of your daily method of operation include using social media, whether that be Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, or whatever form of social media that you use. You should be developing and growing your personal relationships. And that means, whether that be in person or messaging people, commenting on what's going on in their life, and just paying attention to people non-Plexus as well as Plexus, because you do want to build those relationships within our team as well. Like Kathleen said, that's how you're going to form those accountability partners, those running buddies. Every day you want to try to work on a little bit of personal growth. That doesn't mean that you need to sit down and you need to read a book a day, okay? All that means is that, whether you listen to a video or you say a prayer or you read, 5 pages out of a personal growth and development book. It can be anything that takes up 5 minutes of your day. Following up with customers and your teammates is super, super important. So that should be something else that is part of your DMOs. Exposing yourself to new people. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit more about this in a little while, but finding new friends, whether that be on Facebook or off of Facebook or on Instagram or whatever form of social media you use. I'm going to refer to Facebook because that's really what I use, but you can apply it to whatever form of social media you're using. So expose yourself to people and share your products and your business opportunity as much as you possibly can each and every single day. And that is going to happen by listening to people. Okay, no matter where you are, whether you're at the grocery store or at the dentist or someone is at your house for a cup of coffee, listen to what they're saying and see if Plexus, I can guarantee most conversations, Plexus can help them with something in their life, whether they're, lacking energy or they're lacking income. So listen, share the products, share the business opportunity, and also lastly, invest some time each day in training. I always use YouTube as a great example for that, because that's what fits easily into my life. I am in the car constantly, whether it be, bringing my kids to school or going to the gym or whatever it may be. I utilize YouTube like you would not believe. There's so much training on YouTube that is 5 minutes to, an hour and 5 minutes long. So I don't really listen to a lot of music in my car. That's a sacrifice that I have given up. I listen more to YouTube training videos. I listen to them while I'm cooking. I listen to them while I'm cleaning. Find the time to do a little bit of training. And like I said, it does not have to be an hour a day, but just little snippets here and there. And the more you plan these things out and you get used to doing them, you'll see success come, okay? But you have to plan to do them. It's just like you hear, failing to plan is planning to fail. So between the stack sheet and the DMO file that I'm going to upload, or buying this book, whatever it might be, following a plan and writing things down, having the planner, that's what's going to lead to success. I will tell you, I went through this business for the first year, at least the first year, using my phone and making notes and thinking that I could really do this that way. There was no way. I finally started to lose it. I just couldn't keep up with everything. So I, bought myself a legal pad. Then I went from a legal pad to a small planner. Now I love, love, love our planner that we have. But not only do I use my planner, to, plan, but then I have another notebook that I use to take notes in, and while I'm listening to training videos or whatever it may be. But, a consistent plan and a daily method of operation is what's going to help you grow your business.
I totally agree with that. I'm exactly the same way. When I first started, I kind of just said, "Oh yeah, I know these ladies are talking about this stuff," and I just kind of went along with it. But when I started getting a system in place, and there's a bunch of other business building groups that I'm in and chatting with people. My biggest thing is to find your space, a workspace. Treat this like a job, and it will pay you like a job. So find your workspace, and don't just say, "Oh, I do it from my phone." Yeah, I do it from my phone too, but you need to find a somewhere where you know that your notebooks, your agenda, and all your stuff is not going to get torn up by your children on the side. You need to find your own bubble. That's your Plexus bubble. And I love it. I totally agree. I have my all my stuff together and an extra notebook for my own notes too. Let's talk about a little bit of doing that tough stuff first. Everyone says, "Oh yeah, I do all this stuff." So they're thinking in their head, "Guys, yeah, we do this stuff already. We have the stack sheets. We've used them for a while. Yeah, I have a notebook. I run with that." But let's be real serious and honest. And how often do you jump on Facebook in the morning and start scrolling and scrolling and wishing people happy birthday, which is great, well and good. If you're that person that wakes up in the morning, it takes a while and you want to do the mindless, brainless while you're in bed. Some people do that. Great. But when it comes to those, right, and that's great. But when it comes to actually doing your job, they put it on, the corporate put it out the other day and saying, "Let's do our power hours in September." Can you give eight power hours? Can you give this business 8 hours? And what a power hour is if you take the DMO sheet or the stack sheet and just focus on that and do this business, not scroll through Facebook, but really contact people and set up coffee dates and follow up with your customers, that kind of stuff. Those are income producing activities. If you can give an hour, so they came out with 8 hours in a month. That doesn't seem like a lot. Think of this as a part-time job. If you did that for 8 hours in a month, that's not a lot, but it could produce a great deal back in commissions when you do. So we talked about that, of sitting in the morning and saying happy birthday to people and scrolling through. But when you get down into the dirty stuff, that stuff, Christine, why don't you talk a little bit about doing all of that stuff first before everything else?
Yeah, doing all of that stuff first is gonna, just get it out of the way. Just get it out of the way. Do your messaging, do your reaching out. Basically, what we're saying is do those things that are going to stretch you to your limit as far as your comfort zone goes. Do those things first, and then go back, and then at least like, that's over. Okay, that's over. Now I can move on to kind of the easier things, because the longer that you put it off, the longer that you're just not going to do it. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about comfort zones and how truly important it is in this business. So we all have comfort zones, right? We all, we all have that space, that whether it be, physical space or space in our mind, where we feel comfortable and we feel less stress, the least amount of stress. Okay, that's where your comfort zone is. Staying in the land of the familiar. Okay, there are lots of comfort zones and places that we feel comfortable and at ease. It may be your daily habits. It may be, shopping at the same grocery stores, or even wherever, just shopping at the same stores. Okay, how you do your work each day is basically your comfort zone. The type of work you do is based on your comfort zone. Your willingness to talk to people will be determined based on your comfort zone. Okay, there's lots, overcoming your challenges and facing your fears. It's all determined by your comfort zone. Okay, specifically when it comes to network marketing, our business typically forces people to come out of their comfort zone. If you truly are looking for great success within network marketing at some point or another, on your own timetable, eventually you are going to be forced to come out of your comfort zone. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why so few people actually take action. And it's the reason why most people end up quitting. Okay, because they stay within their comfort zone and they're not willing to stretch themselves. Most people feel uncomfortable selling. They feel uncomfortable cold calling or cold messaging prospects. They feel uncomfortable taking time away from their free time. Okay, some people are working nights and working weekends, and after they've already been working all day, they feel uncomfortable. They don't feel like doing it. Some people feel uncomfortable with rejection. Lots of us feel really uncomfortable with rejection. And most of us feel uncomfortable with the unknown, of course, right? I mean, who does not feel uncomfortable with the unknown? So one major thing that comes from your comfort zone is your fear. That's determined by your comfort zone. So you need to really need to face your fears and break through those barriers and leave your comfort zone behind in order to find success here. You have to be willing to fail. You have to be willing to get ridiculed and laughed at, and possibly lose some friends who may not be your friends to begin with. You have to be willing to struggle and deal with temporary defeat. Okay, you have to be willing to make that short-term sacrifice for long-term success. Okay. The only way to make changes is to take action and leave your comfort zone behind and just deal with things as they come. So I think that Kathleen, Liza, most of us here probably would agree that can you build a strong business and a strong and successful business without stepping out of your comfort zone? No, you truly, truly cannot. So you have to push yourself. You have to push yourself past it. You have to step out of that, even when it's hard and even when it's scary, even when it's inconvenient, because there's plenty of times it is going to be inconvenient. You have to push past that, and especially when it's uncomfortable. Okay. So the more you stretch yourself, the more you step outside of that bubble, the more you're going to grow and the bigger your comfort zone is going to get. So something that was once scary and that was once hard is going to become easier and easier. And again, your comfort zone and your confidence is going to grow with that. As your comfort zone grows, your confidence grows, and vice versa. Okay. So you have to have the courage. Courage is critical. It's critical to getting outside of that zone. This may sound crazy, but you have to have the courage to choose, like Kathleen was saying earlier, you have to have the courage to choose your why over your comfort zone, and choose your why over what other people are going to say and what other people are going to think. Okay. So if you find yourself not growing, that's probably because you're not facing your fears and you're not stepping out of your comfort zone. I can tell you 100% that greatness happens when you step over that line. Okay. So I am, no different than any of you. Kathleen is no different than me or anyone else. Okay. The only difference between us and any other Jewel is that we have just faced those fears, and we've stepped a little bit further outside of that comfort zone. That's the only thing that separates any of us in this business.
I totally agree with that. The one thing I keep thinking about is in the mornings, and most of the time this happens in the morning, I get messages every morning, and I go through all my messages with all of you guys, and my favorite ones are in the morning when you guys message me and like, Kath, I actually did it. I did something I was super scared to do, and I talked to so-and-so last night. I didn't think I could do it, but I did. Those are the best. So if you have those, you need to share that, because we love to hear that. Share it with your accountability partner, with your upline, anybody. Tell them when you step outside and you do that hard stuff first. When you have those people that are always those naysayers, those chicken listers, we all have that. Those people that you think, oh God, if I could have that person, they would love this company, they would love this business, and they're super influential, and they have, the reason why they're chicken listers is because they're influential, because they know a lot, and you're afraid, believe me, I have a bunch of those too still, I'm afraid that they're going to know more than I do. So if I go to them and they say, well, what about the blah, blah, blah in your product? Do you have that? And you're like, I don't know. Who cares? Do it anyway and say, you know what? you could say for the any of the products, we've changed a lot of them lately. Say, I will get back to you, and I have a catalog. Let's look through it together, because always go back to them and say, the reason why I'm coming to you is because I know you are very knowledgeable and influential on health, gut health products, being gluten-free and crunchy granola and all those kinds of things. So if I show you the catalog, we can educate each other and do it together. Don't feel that you have to know everything. And that's what we're here for. So those messages that I get in the morning from you guys when you're like, oh my God, I did it. And what are they going to say? They have a message back. Who cares? It's okay. You did it. You ripped the Band-Aid off. And next time it's going to be easier because you stretched yourself. And that rubber band never goes back to the original length. So when you do that, we said every single week for the past, I don't know, couple months anyway, is to get a structure, get a plan. Use your DMO sheet, use your agenda, use something that helps you, use your calendar that helps you get structured. And we talked about this to get you looking at month chunks. So often we start out first day of that month flying. I got my whole goals for the month. I'm going to do it. I can do it this month because I have my potentials. I know what I'm doing. And then you kind of, reality sets in. I know. We all have it. So don't feel that, oh my God, I'm embarrassed to say that I didn't do X, Y, Z, and it's the 11th. We know, that the 10th, 11th, 12th, it's the time because reality sets in. I get it. So set yourself up for success. Chunk your month into 3 sections. 1 through 10, 11 through 20, 21 through 30. Section it off. Instead of giving yourself those month goals, which we said before, we have 5 months, chunk it down into 1 month. Now break it into 3. In that month, we said 3 customers, 3 ambassadors, and help your team get to silver. So the 1st through the 10th, get a customer, get an ambassador, help your team do the same in that 1st through 10th. Same thing for the 11th through 20th. Same thing for the 20th through the 30th. But here's the thing. We say every single month. So we said this for the end of August. The end of the month is your rebuilding. You're restocking. Just like businesses do, they restock their shelves. You need to restock your business, restock your numbers, restock your people. We encourage you for every 3 months, get 1 extra bag of Slim. That extra bag is not for your personal use, it's for samples. That bag will last you 3 months. So the 20th through the 30th, the last section of the month, you will hand out 10 samples. You will find 10 people, and we'll talk about how to grow that, how to find new people in a little bit. Find those 10 people, message them. Please don't type. For the love of Pete, please don't type. Use your voice messenger, call them on the phone. Face-to-face is the best, and say, hey, I know you've seen a bunch of my Plexus posts, so I have this sample. I want to send it to you. What's your address? That's it. Don't get all crazy and put 5,000 paragraphs about everything. They can come back and ask those questions. Just short and sweet. Send them 1 stick. And if you have information on it on hand, stick that in with it too. If not, go to your shareables. Find the little information about the Slim and say, it's in the mail. This is what you're going to get. This is what it's all about. Boom. And there, you could private message them something from the shareables. Looks super professional. Looks great, right? So the 10th through the 20th through the 30th, you're going to send out those 10 samples. You're going to give them information on those Slim packets. Then when they say, yes, great, send it to me, you're also going to say, hey, can I also give you some information? I'm going to text it to you. That's when Lexi comes in. That's when you say, go to customer or it's prospects and Slim. And you're going to give them prospects on Slim. And oh yeah, good, Liza, thank you. And give them the prospect information on the Slim. And it's only a couple days worth of what to expect. So when they get it, they'll know exactly what it is because you shared the shareables. You put them in Lexi app. And also, for the love of Pete, Liza is wonderful on this. Give them a time that you're going to follow up. So you're sending it to them, give them a day or two. Say it's in the mail. It'll come to you in 2 or 3 days. I'm going to call you on Monday to see how you like it and how much you love it. I'm going to call you at the end of the day. This is even better. I'm going to call you at the end of the day on Monday to see how your energy is throughout the day. And you gauge it. So that's what you should expect. So, and some people may say, I haven't noticed a lot of energy change in 1 day. That's okay. And to notice that, not to notice it in 1 day, obviously. But they're doing it for the taste, right? So you got those 10 people at the end of the month that you sent those samples out. That was, say, the end of August, okay? So now we're in the beginning of September. Those are your 10 people that you will be farming throughout all of September. You have your focus. You're not hill-willy jumping all over the place, hoping to find someone and hoping someone sees your post and jumps out and says, I'm going to be your rock star because I see your fantastic post. That doesn't happen. I would love it to happen, but it doesn't. So those are the people you're going to farm. What does farming even mean? We talked about this a lot, of farming versus hunting. You're not going to hunt people down and pounce on them. No one wants to be pounced on. Please, for the love. I know I've said that a lot of times, but anyway, farming, what that is, you cultivate a relationship with them. You have a full month. If you don't have a full relationship with them beforehand, you're going to be doing your homework. So this is where that 10th through the 20th of the month comes in. So go back up there in your notes and say, okay, the 10th through the 20th, what do I do during that time? That's when you're prospecting the new 10. You go and do your homework. You follow up on Facebook and say, what are they posting about? What are they ailments? What are they talking about? What is their life like? That's when you start the cultivating process. You start talking with them, that kind of thing. Does that make sense? So, through that whole month of September is that farming process and following up and asking them questions. Leaders lead by asking questions. Business builders grow by asking questions. Talk to them. Don't just say, hey, are you ready? Or any of that kind of stuff. Or I'm going to throw the triplex at you because that's what I know and that's what works. Yeah, it does. And 99% of the time, that's what you're going to do anyway. But it's why. And why they should be doing the triplex. So this is where the farming comes in, asking them questions, asking about their health. These are the questions that I always ask. Are you guys ready? Okay. How are your sleep habits? How are your bathroom habits? And I tell them all the time. I talk about poop all the live long day, and that's okay. How much water do you drink a day? What medications are you on? What are some of the ailments, blood pressure, cholesterol, those kinds of things? And I always preface it with, please feel free to tell me as much or as little as you would like. The more we talk, the better I can help you. So asking all those questions, and I could post a bunch of them in the Gold Diggers group too, some questions to ask your potential people. So that is a major, major part of it. So let's talk a little bit about that homework and research. And how to find those people. That's what we're going to talk about the next few minutes, is how to find more people. We started out before Plexus with, how many friends did you guys have? You probably had maybe 100, 200, 300 max. That's a lot. Starting with this business, all of a sudden, poof, my Facebook friends list is gigantic, but they're all Plexus people. So yeah, you have a lot of friends on Facebook, but we're looking for people outside of this business to bring into this business. So Christina's going to talk about a few. I have some of my favorites too. So, I always jump in and interrupt people, but I will try not to. But go ahead, my dear, with that.
Okay. So reaching out and making new friends daily. You hear us say this a lot. You should be friending 3 to 5 new people a day. Or adding to your friends list. Doesn't have to be on Facebook, friending people, but you should be adding 3 to 5 new people on your list a day. And sometimes, you may think like, how can I possibly do that? There's only so many people that I know. Facebook really makes it easy for you. Even, Instagram makes it easy for you. There's a little, I don't know what we call it, a little pop-up that says, people you may know. And so if it comes up that I have people, if I have 5 to 10 mutual friends in common with them, I will friend them. However, I am I make sure that they're not all Plexus friends, okay? Because no offense to my Plexus peeps here, but, we're trying to build a business. So we're trying to reach out to people who are not involved in Plexus yet. Again, reaching out of that comfort zone and talking to people outside of Facebook is huge, okay? And I will be completely, totally, 100% transparent with you that has been one of my biggest struggles. I have come a long, 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 long way. But now I'll talk to pretty much anybody about Plexus. I'll hear them. I'll be sitting at Barnes & Noble working and hear someone talking about that they have no energy or that they need another cup of coffee or whatever it may be. And I have no problem interrupting them and asking them, have they ever heard of Plexus, giving them a sample, and then immediately adding them as a friend on Facebook if they're on Facebook. It's super important. Don't just assume, again, that you're going to remember who this person is, because you're not, I'll tell you. So you want to add them to your friends list. So you want to, if you have mutual friends, you want to go ahead and friend them on Facebook. If you meet someone out in public, you want to, if they're on Facebook, you want to immediately add them, and you want to add them to your friends list. You want to date it, where you met them, how even if it was, the lady in the green sweater at the post office, okay? It doesn't matter. Just add them to your list. It's super, super important. Another way to meet some new people and add to your list is by joining some groups, whether that be on Facebook or off of Facebook, okay? Join some groups or things that you're interested in, things that you want to learn more about, okay? Say you've been putting off exercising or whatever. It's September 1st now. I just got, our local community college, list of all these classes that you can take. Start fresh, okay? You want to take a cooking class. You've always wanted to take a cooking class. It's like one night a week, and put yourself out there where you're going to meet new people. Join some mom groups. Join an exercise class. You're into dogs, you're into knitting, you're into collecting stamps, whatever it may be. There's a group out there on Facebook. Not only do you join these groups, okay, because you may go out there and you may join these groups. You may start taking this workout class and then come back and say, well, Christine, I did what you said. I don't have any new friends. Well, you need to actually engage, okay? And then we're going to come back here to the comfort zone, okay? Start engaging. Start commenting on people's posts, even in the group, okay? First, you're in the group, start commenting and conversing and adding your input on conversations in the group. And the more people see you, then you go out and you friend them. And then you start following them on Facebook and you start building a relationship with them. You find things that you have in common. You start commenting on their pictures and their posts. And then you go ahead and you message them once you've built that relationship up a little bit and ask them. You don't have to have a fake conversation or anything like that. You can come right out, like Kathleen said, and just ask them, hey, I'm sure by now you've seen my Plexus post. Have you ever tried it? Boom, that's it. But in order to get to that point, you have to start meeting new people. And there's plenty of ways to do it. But a lot of it does come back to your comfort zone, because we're going to stay stuck where we feel comfortable in our own little cliques and doing the things and talking to the people that we feel comfortable talking to. And the only way to grow is to, start introducing yourself and conversing with people in the line at the grocery store. That's what you have to do.
And Amy Kosmowski said this today too, that when we were talking in the beginning about stack sheets and DMO sheets, that's where this part comes to play, that having those sheets as your default that you check off, that's just doing the minimum. But when Christine was talking about joining groups and all that, be genuine when you go in there and building those relationships and become friends with them. Then in order to do that, you really need to put Plexus aside. So that when I say, hey, give me your address, that's for people that you're seriously close with already. That's where the farming part comes into play. It could take a good 6 months. That's why I love Sarah Crawford talked about this too. She's an awesome up-and-coming gold that will shine, I'm telling you, if you haven't seen her already. She's like, I grew my friends list by 300 or something this summer, Sarah? That is a goal. If you don't have that as your goal, put that in there. Start growing a couple every day. You know what I did just recently is go to say a friend from high school that you haven't talked to in forever but you're friends with. You go to them and go to their friends list. Guarantee you're going to find 10, 20, 30 people that you're like, I know that guy. I know that girl. And start clicking them. And that's how you can grow that way. Another way, when Christine was talking about joining those groups, so many people come to me and say, yeah, that's all well and good, Kath, but it says right there, I can't advertise. You don't want to advertise. You're skipping a huge step. That's hunting by advertising in a group of strangers. You want to join genuinely. My mother-in-law's in this painting group and she loves it and she is all about it. And like this watercolor group, there's people from all around the world and there's like 5,000 people in this group. She talks about it all the time and it's wonderful. And now she's telling me about all these people she met and these friendships she's created. That's genuine. So when you bring up Plexus, it doesn't mean, okay, here's my next victim, my next get person I want to get. This is the next person that I can help change their life. So when I said in the very beginning of the call that this is not about you, and when Christine was talking about getting out of your comfort zone, remember, this is not about you getting your next person, getting the next ranking, getting the next anything. It's you helping people. And when you go back to that, everything else seems to go away, and this business seems so much simpler than we've made it to be. It seems like lately we've been making it really hard, but it's not hard. So just find more people and share a little bit more. And one thing I really do love, we have that Frank's list, that people that you want to reach out to, your friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, blah, blah, blah. I've had this book since like years. I've had this book for years. It's the Plexus Smart Organizer. And yeah, it might be out of, I don't know if it's out of date, but I do love this. Oh, wait. Sarah said at 300 at least this summer, I've already made a lot of solid connections and leads already. And I guarantee those 300 people, she didn't pounce on them. That Sarah said those 300 people, she didn't pounce on them. She's building relationships and finding out what they do and their interests and how Plexus can help build their interest. And build
I will say, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but, I do see this conversation going on the side about, making sure that when you do friend someone, and I do this as well, you don't want them to get lost in the shuffle. So I do change the settings so that I see their posts first instead of seeing a bazillion Plexus posts first. Okay, these are the people that I want to build relationships with. So these are the people that I want to see first what's going on in their life. So all you need to do is go to their page and just click on the following thing. And I think, there's a drop-down box that says see first. So I think that's a good way, because you will forget about them unless you've already gone ahead and made those separate Plexus, non-Plexus groups, groups of friends. A lot of us are past that, like definitely not income producing for me to separate all my friends at this point. So the best way for me to do it is like Veronica said, and change the settings to see first.
I do like that one, Veronica. And I used to do that a lot. I kind of got away from it. So thank you for reminding me of that one. I haven't done that in a little while. So, so many people talk about, okay, I'm in my bubble. I'm either at, hold on one second. Robin said, I've heard people about high school friends appearing out of nowhere and starting to hound them to buy something. Please don't be those people. So many people do that. We don't want to hound people. We want to just be, hunt, not hung. But we want to be there. You're friending them. Be their friend. That's all. And I guarantee if you start commenting on their stuff, they will see your posts. That's what your posts are for. Not to hope and pray people come to you, but to get interest. You never know who you're going to help. By posting little tidbits of information before and after gut health stuff. There's so many people that have issues. They're watching, but they're not going to come to you unless they're super out of their comfort zone. It takes a lot for people to do that. One little thing, we talk about this every time, and I have to say it every single time. If you go up to people and ask them, if you come out and people say, oh, now I'm getting crickets. We talked about it. They seemed interested, but now we have crickets. I get it. What I always take that as, and please do the same, is they don't want to say no yet. They're not sure. They don't know where to go with this. It's not on the top of their priority. They have other stuff. They're not as passionate about Plexus as we are. But they don't want to say no because then they're afraid you're not going to talk to them about it again at all. So just give them some space. Talk about other things.
Yep.
Come around later on and then bring it up later on. But talk about real life stuff because yes, Plexus, if anybody is obsessed with Plexus, it's me and a lot of these guys, but be you. Don't forget who you were before Plexus and be that person because I guarantee There's so many people come to me and say, you know what, I love that we didn't talk about Plexus at all in this conversation. I'm like, well, there's a lot more to be than Plexus, and we could talk about a lot of stuff. They know you do. Your close friends, they know you do. Don't hound them every time. They will be resentful. And so that is my little soapbox moment. But what I was going to say before is that so many people are in their bubble, whether it's stay-at-home mom bubble, their working bubble, and I only have these amount of people in my workspace, and how am I going to get out of that? As Christine was just saying before about all of those groups, that's a big thing. And I would certainly hope that you guys reach out. If you say, I don't know, I don't have any hobbies, you do. You just have to search for them. And if you don't have any hobbies that you could think about, go back to your why. What do you want out of life? What is your dream? What do you want for your children, for your life, for your family? Then it will come out. If you're at work and you want to be that stay-at-home mom, I guarantee there's a group of people like that. If you say, you know what, my why is I want to have a home at the ocean, guarantee there's a group for that. My why is to retire my husband who works for the Navy. Guarantee that there's a Navy wife's thing. There's always something. So go and find those people. If you're not part of Twitter, Instagram, and all that, that's another way to get out of your comfort zone. Try that. You never know. There's totally different group of people that do those things. So there's always people to reach out to. And in this digital age, my God, there's no way any of us would have built this business without this. Just taking my level ones, for example, I wouldn't talk to them on a regular basis. They live all over the dang place. So there's no way that if I were to do my little business without this computer, my phone, I wouldn't have reached out to Karen Peshier or Erin O'Keefe or Valerie Bonacci, who lives like a mile away from me, or Aunt Stacy or Monica that I work with. They wouldn't see this side of me. So use it. Don't be afraid, and use your picture of yourself. People want to see you. They don't want to see an advertisement. There's too much of that, of the fancy pants and the lipsticks and all that. Show you and show how your life is changing. So going way back, I know that we're over time, but going back to that retreat that we were talking about, to get to Ruby by February, details will come later, but your goal should always be, if you're on this call, you want to build your business. So if you're on this call, you know, in order to build my business, I need to grow myself to grow my business. And we say it all the time, and Lori mentioned it earlier, that Lori put it in the chat, that this business is professional development with a compensation plan attached. Find a book. I was going to pull out some of my books back here that I'm obsessed with. It's fall. You're in the house much more. Go back and read those. Get back to, yes, we have our novels that we love to read, or our TV shows. Get a little sacrifice and start reading some professional development. John Maxwell, who's going to be at Leaders Retreat, get some of those. I'm doing book chats with a group, two groups actually, and we're doing the John Maxwell 15 Laws. I forgot what the 15 Laws of something. And I love it. All of us love it. This group chat, I'm telling the book club, we love it. So once this is done, I'm going to reach out to you guys and we'll do another one after that. If you say, you know what, I want to do that book chat or book club, find a bunch of your friends, get that book. That's your first one. Go find a bunch of friends to do that. I guarantee, read 2 chapters a week, Zoom with your friends, your life will change because of the book. Not the business. Yeah, that will change, but your life will change because of that book. So thank you guys for coming, and we're going to end the call, but this is always a great time for Q&A. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to either unmute yourself or type it in. It could be with anything, troubles you're having, or any of that. There, thank you, Marilyn. That is exactly it. It was the 15 valuable laws of growth. Thank you, Marilyn, because she's in our book club chat. I love it. But thank you guys again, and thank you, Christine, for coming on the call tonight. I'm going to stop the recording.